So here's a score-saving tip that I think every golfer should have in their bag of tricks. Trouble is, I don't see very many people practicing this, and if they do, they don't practice it where it counts, and that's on the golf course. So here we've got a shot of about 100 meters or 110 yards downhill, and I've hit it in the trees. I've got a gap in the trees. Now let's face it, the safest thing to do would be to just chip it out sideways. There's no trouble there. I can easily chip it out sideways, run it down the hill, get it down to about 40 or 50 meters and get it on and two putt. But there's a nice enough gap here. It's not a lot of risk. But when I see people play this, when I'm playing with them on the golf course, they just don't have any idea. So they just choose a club with very little loft, and they play it incorrectly, and quite often, even though the club doesn't have much loft, they hit it into this branch here, and then all sorts of things happen. So I'm going to point you in the right direction today and show you a few things that you can do. I'm going to use a 6-iron here, which is a medium amount of loft, but I'm going to show you the things that we can do to help keep the ball low. So the object here is we get it out low, get it running, and if we can get it on the green, fantastic. If not, it'll be just short of the green, and hopefully we can get it up and down from there. So what we don't want to do is allow the club to increase in loft when we play this shot. And this is what I see people doing. They're hitting down on the ball, which they think is right, but quite often when you hit down on it, the ball pops up. So I don't really want you feeling like we're going to hit down. We're not having a steep angle of attack. I really want you to have what I call a shallow angle of attack. And the key to this shot is allow the club face to rotate to the left. If we allow the club face to rotate left, we're keeping the loft off the club. So even though this is a 6-iron, we can control the loft through impact just by letting the club release. I'm not talking about hooking it. I'm just talking about keeping the 6-iron loft on the club for as long as we can. The moment I try and get that club square at impact or just after, I'm adding loft, and that's when it pops up into the tree. So I like to play this one a little bit further back in my stance. So I would normally play it from about halfway, but in this shot, because I want it to go low, I'll play it back in my stance. I will also have my hands very slightly ahead, not a long way ahead, just very slightly ahead. Now from there, when I swing, I'm not going to use a full swing, but I want wide. So I want a nice, shallow, wide swing. And as I said before, when I hit the shot, I'm going to release, which is going to help keep that ball down under the bough of this tree, and it's going to make it run. So let's see how we go. So the ball back in my stance, hands slightly forward, weight ever so slightly forward as well. Not a bad little result. So if we can do those things and get out there and practice this shot on the golf course, it's going to help lower your score, because instead of chipping it out, you can save a shot. But don't try it on the course until you've had a chance to practice it in training. Always train on the course. And you want to get to be able to play this shot 7 out of 10 times. If you can do that, it's going to be a successful score-saving tip. If you want to lower your score, I'm going to put a link to another video just up there that I know is going to help lower your score.